connected, the Wi-Fi. I looked at it, it said, I've got a bunch of bars and it says internet. Okay. 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 Okay.
It should say cooperative together.
Oh, no.
I do have a spot left in the pavilion. I get you some shade, that's about all I can promise. Yeah, now, you should take up a lot of roof, I can definitely get her in on the 25th.
Hey, what you doing?
You
doing at your house?
Spot,
Remodeling? Ooh, that's great.
I do a full 10 by 10.
You're not doing
Put 6 fingers in there. Only allows you 4
That's the thing I can't remember that. I mean, that's major. When you take all the sides, everything off, comes back to work. Yes, and not about it again. That's right. And the whole and that's what does the baby. It's easy to print it, but you can't do it this way. Yeah, it is.
Y'all stop falling down the stairs. Stop falling down the stairs.
She grabbed that bag.
What's up, Paulo?
Good, how are you?
No dessert?
You got the special.
Rotator cuff.
No.
The hot seat.
The last week I was on the crutches for the ankle, slipped in my house, tore the rotator cuff. 4 days to go on approaches.
Chad had that done in college and got it fixed. And then he had Schwartz, he had to do it 3 times and it's still not right.
This hurts.
Oh, man, that's terrible. Did you have the pump?
This hurts.
Did you have that pump?
Yeah.
Did you have the pump, the nerve block?
I was out.
No, but after he got home, he had a ball or something. Yeah.
No, he did not get something to eat, but he had 3 days. It was never been that long, and he usually stretched. He couldn't stretch me into reconstruction. And he told me, he said, you know, we'll take care of it, you know, so, anyway. But anyway, we uphill now, so. You will. Take stock. What's going on, everybody? What's up, gentlemen?
What's up?
I'm good. How you? Let me tell you the reason why I heard so much, because you're nervous. All I know is it hurts. Once you get in the system, that's it. Because you show us something that you don't think about, you don't know. You never try to get it. You got it. When I told you it's not first, I prayed for you, man. Thank you. It's a crazy scenario, man. That was okay. Mine wasn't wrong all the way. It wasn't. No, we caught it in time. Matter of fact, we having a house for us, and they put the door. And when I went to inspect the door, they had just put it in place. So what happened was, they was behind the door, the door started falling. So I had to grab the door from the top, and my wife pulled me into it, and, you know, she got out the way, and just started. You and the door were together. Yeah. And I stayed 6 months. Now he said now.
Pledge of allegiance, Mr. Ford. Thank you, Mayor. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Invocation. Alderman Woolridge.
That my sweet God ahead. Heavenly Father, we thank you this morning for allowing us to see a new day, my Father. Then we thank you, my Father, for guiding us here today and letting us know that for us to be here for the city of Crowley and do what's right, just, and in order, my Father. We ask all this in your daughter's son, Jesus Christ's name. Amen.
Amen. Thank you. Madam Clerk, roll call, please.
Jeff Bell,
Here.
Brad Core,
Here.
Clint Crater,
Here?
Lyle Fogelman,
Here.
Vernon Martin,
Here.
Stephen Primo,
Here.
Sandy Reggie, Kim Stringfellow, here, and Byron Wilridge.
Here.
All here.
Thank you. Reading of the call, please, Madam Clerk.
June 22nd, 2020, City of Crowley Special Council Meeting Notice. You are hereby notified that a special council meeting of the Mayor and Board of Aldermen of the City of Crowley will be held on Tuesday, June 23rd, 2020, at 6 p.m. in the City Council Chambers at 426 North Avenue F, Crowley, Louisiana. The purpose of said meeting will be to consider the contract of Hesia's New Beginning Animal Rescue. Signed, Tim Monso, Mayor. In accordance with the Americans with Disabilities Act, if you needed special assistance, you would contact Aaron S. Prater at 337-788-4103, describing the assistance that is necessary. The notice of call was posted at City Hall on June 22nd, 2020 at 3:30 p.m. The call was circulated on June 22nd, 2020 at 3:30 p.m. and copies of the call were delivered.
Thank you, ma'am. Next item, the purpose of the said meeting will be to consider the contract of Hasia's New Beginning Animal Rescue. Would you please read the resolution, please, title?
A resolution of the Mayor and Board of Aldermen of the City of Crowley, Acadia Parish, Louisiana, authorizing a cooperative endeavor agreement with Hesia's New Beginning, Inc. and Kelly Briscoe individually to assume the responsibility for the operation and upkeep of the City of Crowley Animal Control Shelter, to provide food, medicine, and veterinary services for animals at no cost to the city, to provide trained personnel and supervise adoptions and proper placement of animals, to respond to complaints by citizens and animal rights organizations, to handle public relations in regard to the care of the animals and the operation and upkeep of the City of Crowley Animal Control Shelter, and to provide for all matters relative thereto.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. As for motion?
Mayor, this time I'd like to make a motion to enter into a cooperative endeavor agreement with Hesia's New Beginning Incorporated and Kelly Briscoe to assume the operation and upkeep of the City of Crowley Animal Control Shelter.
Offered by Mr. Ford, seconded by Ms. Stringfellow. Discussion? Yes, sir. Mr. Martin?
First of all, with all due respect to everybody and everything, I want to know, how did we get to this? Last, we talked about, we had someone to handle the shelter, okay? I get phone calls about there was a big blow up or whatever. So, before my vote is in it, I need to know what exactly went down. I think this council has a right to know, unless y'all been informed and I was left out loose. Okay? Because the City of Crowley, with all due respect to anybody and everybody, as long as I've been on this council, the City of Crowley handled their own business. Okay? Now, and once again, with all due respect, I don't know these people right here, but God bless them for what they do. We have had numerous people come to in front of this council, Stephen will tell you, Law will tell you, that wanted to basically take over the shelter and take all, what we want to call responsibilities, whatever. And we had always used the term that thanks for no thanks. Okay? We provide money to the shelter for whatever it is, whether it's taking them to the vet, whether it's food or what have you. And from what I'm understanding, the big deal in this situation was a food issue. Now, how did that come to that? Can you answer that?
Yes, sir, I can. As a matter of fact, there never was a food issue. We had enough food in that shelter to last us till August. As a matter of fact, the other day, just the other day, I met Mr. Crater and Ms. Stringfellow, and they saw how much food we actually had.
Okay, with that being said, why was the public given information, and I was one of the ones that got the conversation, that is feed them or kill them? Did y'all get the same thing? There was information out there saying, yeah, well, it's decided.
That was Facebook.
Well,
That's
the
social
Facebook,
media.
the voice on it, I recognize the voice.
That was the one.
Caleb White, okay. So, what you doing right now, and I'm gonna tell you this, and this is me. I wanna speak for me. This should have never gotten to that point. For someone to make a statement, either you feed them or you kill them. Okay? Isn't the city of Crowley, isn't that shelter a no-kill shelter? Okay, well, that has to be changed before you can bring somebody in here. Because if it's not listed as a no-kill shelter, that gives whomever the knowledge that whatever animals are brought in, that they won't be killed. This one time, I think you called Tom Reagan, well, I don't know why.
Actually, Mr. Martin, just to let you know, Mr. Reagan has reviewed the contract, has reviewed the ordinances that we have, has reviewed everything there is about this resolution, and that we're proposing tonight for this lady and her organization, Hospice New Beginning.
Well, I understand what you're saying, but to be quite honest with you, I don't have too much confidence in what Tom Reagan brings to the council after this last fiasco with the streets. But I'm gonna say this right here. And I wanna make sure that the persons or whomever is taking over this, understand that we have a title for that shelter. And it's not a no-kill shelter. I'm bringing this up because it was brought up to me. Okay, from a legal mind. The city of Crowley need to do their due diligence to make sure that when a person, whatever the reason is, can't afford the animal, whatever, that when they bring that animal to our shelter, or we pick it up, that animal will not be euthanized. And I'm looking around the council, don't you think that's something that we should have in writing? Okay?
You can, there is an ordinance that you as a council can actually bring up and change.
Well, that's the
At a later
problem.
date.
Why didn't we have this meeting before we had this meeting? That meeting that you just said should have been with this council, with the chair of public buildings and also public safety. Not only them, but also the police chief and the person that was running the shelter, to find out what's going on and what is needed, okay? But when the city of Crowley, I don't know if you noticed, but the city of Crowley be getting a lot of bad publicity. And I, for one, to be quite honest with you, is getting sick and tired of being sick and tired. Every time I'm scared to go to the local stores without being attacked. What the hell's going on at City Hall? Okay? Why y'all want to kill the dogs? You understand? I told them I had no idea this was even going on. So I'm just putting out this as a point of order. That before you move to level 2, you better make sure level 1 is in order. Because until this council right here approve for you to go out and find somebody for this, I don't think you have to be honest with you, the power to do this. And that's just my opinion. And like I said, I spoke to legal mind with this.
Well, Mr. Martin, just
Okay.
to let you know, that's why we are voting tonight on a resolution.
But the problem is you vote on a resolution that you have already come to a conclusion with. This council took no part in either discussing what was going on, or how did it get to the point of where we at right now.
Okay, but there is a motion on the floor, Mr. Martin. There is a motion on the floor, discussion. Yes, sir, Mr. Prater.
If we could we kind of talk about the ordinance since it's been brought up?
Yes.
And I've looked over it pretty thoroughly since I heard the conversation that happened, I think everybody else did too, about the euthanization of the animals. And there was a comment made that after 10 days, it's an ordinance, the animals have to be euthanized. And what I'm reading here in our ordinances, it says that after 10 days and not claimed by the owner, it may be disposed of as determined by the animal control supervisor. So I think that needs to be clarified to whoever's going to be running the shelter, is that we don't have to kill those animals after 10 days.
That is correct.
There's nothing
That is
saying that
correct.
they have, well, but that's not what I heard on.
I understand what you may have heard, I do. And that is our objective, is to try to make sure that we are going to attempt every way we can to make it a no-kill shelter. And also, and you are right, Mr. Prater, at this moment, we can't, because we don't have it in writing as a resolution for an introduction, to amend that ordinance. So later, we can amend that ordinance, and you can do that. As a council, yes, sir.
And I think we really need to schedule
Yes, sir, I
something to do
agree,
that.
I agree with you 100%.
Another thing that I'd like clarification on is, does it cost somebody to adopt an animal out of our shelter? Do they have to pay a fee to adopt an animal?
We are going to waive that fee.
Okay. But in the past it has been, but I think that's something else that needs to be clarified in our ordinance, that, you know, if somebody's willing to take an animal off of our hands, I don't think we should be paying, they should have to pay a fee. We should almost pay them to do it, but anyway, so I have your word that we're gonna
Oh,
review
absolutely.
this ordinance. And we're gonna go
Absolutely,
over
we
it.
will review it, and we will bring it up and amend it,
Okay.
however you'd like to see that. You are the council, and you can vote on that.
Great, I'd love to.
Yes, sir, absolutely. Mr. Renfro.
Thank you, Mayor, and I'd just like to say that I did go to the Rain Animal Shelter and I spoke with a volunteer with Hesea, and it's a good deal over there. They really take care of the dogs. They have a tub, they bathe them. This particular volunteer had her children there, and they were playing with puppies, and you know, she showed me extensively the dog runs, and it's very nice over there. I just want to, and I did speak with Ms. Briscoe a couple of times, and I asked her if there was anything at our animal shelter that she needed us to change. And I understand some changes are going to occur there before we do this, but I think it'll be a good partnership.
Yes, ma'am, absolutely. Okay, Mr. Craig?
And if Ms. Stringfellow wouldn't mind, if she has the time, I know she's busy, but maybe we could meet with this lady and go over the ordinances before we meet again, because I don't think we want to hash out the whole ordinance here in the council meeting, but if we could come up with some things and some ideas to present to the whole council, and I know that's Brad's committee, so we could go over it with him, and maybe we could get a resolution to this problem. Thank you.
Yes, sir. Mr. Martin?
I just want to make this clear, and I want to thank Chuck and his team, because I heard nothing but good things about what goes on at your shelter, okay? But I want to make sure that we do our due diligence. The city we should have had a meeting about this before we even was here. You
Mr.
follow what I'm
Martin,
saying?
just to let you know, I apologize for interrupting you, just to let you know, Mr. Robichaud is here to speak on that.
I understand that,
Okay?
but that's the reason why I'm speaking directly to him. I don't want no one to think that I am against this, because I'm 100% for that. My daughter will feed her dog before she gives me food, so I know what's going on with that. But I'm just trying to say that we're going to have to do our due diligence, because God forbid something happened to one of the animals out there, and not at the fault of nobody, but there's a thing they call attorneys. They on TV every day, okay? So I just want to make sure that everybody understands I'm for this 100%, but I want to make sure all the I's are dotted and the T's are crossed. Thank you.
Yes, sir. Mr. Robichaud? I apologize, Mayor Robichaud.
No, it's all right. Bless you. I know. He did that on purpose. I'm here. I'm here to support Hacienda's New Beginnings. Let me tell you, the city of Rain is much like Crowley. We both have the same problems, the same hurdles. We have the same everything. You're just our parish seat, which is awesome. You know, you're bigger than us, and I come eat here too. I spend my money here, but y'all need to come to Rain. And any of y'all want to move to Rain, I'm welcome. Steve lives in Rain, he knows. Anyhow, the reason I'm here is to support them, nothing more. I've been mayor 5 years now in the city of Rain. It's been a challenge, like it's a challenge for y'all. I know all that y'all going through. I sit on a board with Steph with the LMA. I have the pleasure of being on the LMA board and being reappointed again. This is the problem. No one in the community realizes what we all go through. When you take your oath to be a councilman or a mayor or any elected position, chief of police, he has the worst job, by the way. You know, you take an oath trying to be fair, and sometimes when you do what's right, it doesn't seem fair to most people, because they have their own agenda, their own reason why They feel it needs to be another way. And unfortunately, you as a council and a mayor and everyone else that makes decisions here, we have to, within our own hearts, decide what's best for our community as a whole. And you all try and make the right decisions for your community. When it comes to animals, animals don't have normally people speaking for them because they can't speak. And they have a body and a heart like we do, and they are our best friends. Anyone that has a dog, and I'm going to tell you, in politics, when you go knock at doors, if a dog didn't bark, you're lucky. Because almost every house is in the backyard or it's in the house, they're barking. So most people, the majority, love dogs, cats, and other animals. And dogs especially, because, you know, they're our best friend. I have 2 dogs. I'm sure most of y'all have dogs. The problem is, dogs can't always fend for themselves. And a lot of people that get dogs as a puppy, they're cute, they're wonderful, they get them for birthday or Christmas or whatever. And after they get them, they get tired of them because they are like a child. You got to feed them, you got to care for them, you got to bring them to the vet and everything else. That costs money. And as a city, your city, my city, we have to deal with when people drop off and leave for us to care for them. Y'all would agree with me, and I know you would agree with yourselves, that a shelter is not a petting zoo. It's not something that people can come visit, enjoy, and walk away and say, oh, I don't like what you have here today, I'll wait for tomorrow, next week, or next month. We can't keep those animals. And just like the City of Crowley, we had in our ordinance that after X number of days, I'm going to say it's less than y'all's, it was 5 days, we could euthanize an animal. And it's just not fair. They don't have a chance. People like Kelly that love animals more than life itself, that lady right there loves animals, and Steph, I'm going to attest for her, she is a true animal lover. One of the best, most sincere animal lovers I've ever met in my life.
I didn't have it checked out, man.
I'm telling you, she is a real deal. And this is the thing. A year and a half ago, I was faced with a dilemma, like y'all are many times, okay? We all get badgered on the news, like Steph was saying earlier. You know, people will grab something, they run with it, and they try and make y'all as a council, as an administration, look like something you're not. Make people believe that you're something vicious and you don't care and all these other things. And as social media does it, when social media grabs it, it becomes a gospel. And you can't change that. And some people believe you, some people don't believe you. Then it starts the controversy and it goes on from there. Dealing with these animals for a year and a half, I went back and forth. We were killing the animals. We weren't caring for them. They'd pop up and say, oh, there's whatever on the floor. I'm not going to say it. And you're not keeping it clean. And you know, animals, they may eat now and do something later, but it's a mess. And you never can hit it right where the right person comes in and says you're not caring for the animals. So we went through all that. And I got the news people, I got animal rights people. And let me tell you, there's a lot of animal rights people that will bark and scream and holler and get in your face and claim and blame everybody. But when it really comes down to it, there's probably less than 50% that really love them enough to put their mouth where the work is. But that little lady is. Whatever if she tells you it's Easter, go dye your eggs. Because she does not lie. She tells the facts, the truth. And whatever she tells you, she delivers more. And I can tell you, because I've been working with her for 5 months, since February, everything that we agreed on, everything, she's followed it to the letter. Everything. And I believe her. If she tells me something, I believe her. For a year and a half, we dealt with all the media problems, and eventually I said, enough's enough. I got with my clerk. I said, okay, what's this animal shelter costing us? It's costing us public scrutiny. It's costing us, from time to time, the media grabbing us and making us, our administration, our city, look like vicious, careless people that don't care about anything. And I says, I got to put this thing to bed. I went to the parish, the secretary treasurer, that was Mr. Broussard at the time. And I had sat down on the weekend, I had to wind down on the weekend after dealing with people all week long, you get enough. And I wrote down some notes, and I came up with something. I said, I'm going to present to the parish. And I went to Mr. Broussard and I said, look, Fatty, I said, I have a plan. And I gave him a copy and I read it to him. I said, I want to give you my animal control guy. I want to give you the truck that he drives. I'm going to donate it to you. I'm going to pay his salary for him to care for your animals. And I says, you're going to take my animal control over because I'm tired of the people beating on me. I'm tired of these people telling us we're bad people and we don't care about these animals. And I says, in exchange for that, I'm going to give you a true plan of what you can do to be a better animal control facility for the parish. But I'm going to ask you to approach these other people in the parish because it's only fair. I'm going to want, now, y'all have a shelter. I said, I want you to approach Morris, Estonwood, Iota, Church Point was the worst, Dusong, this part of Dusong, Indian Bayou, which is not a city. But I want y'all to produce a way that everybody can contribute to the care of these animals for the parish. We come up with a common ground understanding of how we're going to deal with these animals fairly, compassionately, and in the best interest of the animal first, the public second. Because you take care of the animal, the public comes. And not everybody loves dogs, y'all know that. Some people hate dogs, they fear dogs. And I says, by doing that, we as a parish can make a better presentation to end this nonsense. He says, well, how are we going to do it what are you going to do with your shelter? I said, it's very simple. It's common sense. I says, we're going to take the animal shelter for the parish. We're going to make that the hub, even though it's not the hub of where we are, but it's a hub. Our shelter holds like 44 animals, 44 dogs, and we have some run cages. And I says, what we'll do is you have 2 animal control guys, and you have Mr. Benoit, which is his key guy, who's very knowledgeable. He can do everything. He can stun gun them and all this other stuff. He's the expert. I said, what you do is you take Mr. Benoit, make Mr. Benoit your lead guy, the director. You take one of your guys, you work everything north of your shelter and everything west to a certain point in an imaginary line that runs on the west side of Rain. You take everything from there and run it back to the west, back toward, I'm going to call it Jennings, which is only in Acadia Parish. You take your other animal guy and you run him north, east, west of that same imaginary line. So there's your deal. You have Mr. Benoit float as a director. You take my guy that I'm going to give you his truck and him and his cage and everything, and I says you use him in my shelter in Rain. He's going to take care of Church Point, Dusong, Indian Bayou, and all the rural areas of Acadia Parish that you're subjected to care for. In turn, you're going to have a savings in fuel, the logistics of getting to and from the animals, quickly, timely, safely, without delay, and you're going to have a better operation. And if it's a bite issue or an issue where it's an argument, a dispute, a civil matter, you bring Mr. Benoit in. Mr. Benoit is going to be the peacekeeper in the cell because he knows all the laws, he knows all the rules. And that's how you do it. And then I'm going to contribute my share in my salaries for my employee and the truck. That's my contribution. And I'm going to pay you in full quarterly payments. And I said everybody else needs to pay the same similar fee based on population and based on how much trouble they give the shelter on animals. He says, that sounds really good. I said, good, sell it to your jury. And we're going to make it happen. I'll sign that truck over to you tomorrow. I'll get my counsel to agree to it. It's common sense. It never happened, okay? So it never happening put me back in the dilemma that y'all are now in. Being a terrible city that doesn't take care of animals. Then it started all over again, Facebook. All these people making accusations of my people, our city, and how cruel we are and how we don't really care. And what we did was, I told my clerk and I told a couple of my councilmen, we talked. And I said, listen, I said, enough's enough. I'm putting this thing to bed. I'm going to find something. And I had Kelly, and Kelly was one of the ones that kept, that child that keeps pulling on your pants, pulling on your pants, pulling on your pants. They want something, they need something, they want to help you, they want to do something for you. She was that person. And she kept saying, I want to help. I want to go in your shelter and adopt. And I said, Kelly, you can't. If you come and adopt in our shelter, first off, you're not a city employee. Second thing, I don't have any insurance to cover you. The third thing is nothing structured that keeps the city's liabilities away from the public, or you bringing in a caregiver that's going to want to be compassionate, or a child that's a young child, a 16-year-old, a young adult, to come in and care for these animals. If they get bit, we get sued. It's a liability problem, and there's where the disconnect is with us, Kelly. Even though you love animals and you don't fear them, you fear them less than me, I can't let you in my shelter because I have that liability issue. Because as mayor, I have to protect the best interests of the community, liable-wise. And I said, Kelly, you know what? It's just not going to work. She went away. Then I had two other ladies come. One's an attorney, works for the DA's office, I forget her name, and another lady, really nice ladies. They really, really care about animals. Probably near what Kelly does. And they sat with me and they talked about the law, and they talked about, you got to do this, you can't do that. And it's kind of like a pushy thing, but they really were sincere about animals, and they're good girls, they really care. And I didn't feel good. You get that gut feeling, you like what they're saying because of the animals, but you don't like the way that they're pushing you. I don't like to be pushed. I'm a Taurus, I'm a bull, we're going to fight. And I said, it's not going to happen. She said, well, we're going to the parish, it's going to happen, we're going to set these rules, we're going to have a general ordinance for the parish, and we're going to direct and control and make, and it sounded good, and they had good intentions, but I didn't have a good feeling. So I went down, I talked to my clerk, I talked to her a lot, and I said, Miss Annette, I said, it's just not going to work. I don't feel good. And I said, I like what Kelly's presenting, but Kelly's just not there yet. Then it started on Facebook again, and all these people saying, well, I'm going to help you, and I'm going to do this, and I'm going to do that. She can tell you. A lot of people scream and holler, they're going to do all these things. When it comes down to D-Day, and you got to roll up your sleeves, and you got to start cleaning dirty, stinky kennels for 4 and 5 hours, and go home, and try and go to work, and take care of your family and your kids, and everything else in our busy lives, it just gets old. Just like a job that's 7 days a week, it gets old. Because you know what? It's a 7-day-a-week job. It's a dirty job, and it's an unrewarding job unless you really, truly, like her, love animals to the point that she loves animals. So what I did was, I called Mr. Larry, our attorney. And I said, Mr. Larry, look, I'm going to put this thing together. But I said, I'm going to have some things in place. I said, first off, I want a contract. I said, I want a contract that protects the city, the council, myself, Kelly, and everybody involved. I want a contract that protects the animals, like what Mr. Martin was just worried about the animals being euthanized. He cares about animals, it shows. Okay, and that's admirable of him. The thing is, we got to cover everybody's needs, the perception of what the public sees us as being, and as good people that care about animals. And we got to be sure that we protect our community from liabilities. There's a lot of attorneys out there. We're an attorney state in this. Nothing against you, Mr. Rick. We're an attorney state. It's sue happy, okay? And we got to do what's in the best interest of our cities, especially when it comes to lawsuits. So I said, we got to get all that in place. And I said, the other thing is I got to give her an out. But I want to give her a long enough term where she doesn't walk away before really feeling and experiencing what she wants to experience out of this, and hopefully we renew. So I did a 3-year term. I want a $1 million insurance policy specific for an animal shelter. And I want a release form from her, and I want a release form from anybody that walks up to the door before they walk into the kennels to sign a perpetual agreement that when they sign that, they are washing all opportunity to sue the city of Rain, which would be the city of Crowley for y'all. And it stays perpetual. So if they don't come back for 6 months or a year, it is signed in blood. Very simple agreement. And then I want the insurance policy approved. We got all that together, put it all together. I sat Kelly down. Her husband's here tonight. He was there. Okay, and he, trust me, he's a supportive husband. Most husbands wouldn't put up with a woman that has children, horses, and loves dogs, that wants more dogs to care for and more headaches to deal with 7 days a week. Very supportive husband. I don't think he's going anywhere. She must cook good. But anyhow, the other thing is when we agreed on this, Kelly says, well, I gotta find an insurance company. And she finally did. It took a while. She found the right insurance company. It's not cheap either, by the way. Why would somebody take on a 7-day-a-week job, cleaning dirty kennels, dealing with all different natured dogs, the good ones, the bad ones, the ugly ones, all of them, and smile and go home and try and tend to your family, and pay insurance on top of that, and beg for people to help with helping with the food and helping with everything, and pay the vet bills? Couldn't understand it. It's her compassion for the animals. And that should make you feel good, Steph, because this lady, to do all what I just said, it takes a special person. I would never do it. Even if you gave me the money to do it, I wouldn't do it. I don't love animals that much. The next thing is, we got it all nailed down. Took a year and a half. Once we had, like you said, all the T's crossed and the I's dotted, all the bases covered where I felt good. I had that gut feeling. Felt real good with them. And we did our transition. And this is what I told them. I sat down with my animal control guy, and this is what I told him. I said, Kelly, this is how it's going to happen, okay? We still going to be in control of animal control. Picking up dead animals, picking up dogs. We don't pick up cats. We just can't commingle them. Y'all have something we don't have, and that's a junk where cats can be with dogs. We don't. And I says, our animal control guy is going to pick them up. We're going to keep them 5 days. If it's a dog bite or a sick dog, we're going to keep them longer till we go through the quarantine. If that dog is a dangerous dog or a not healable dog, you cannot stop us, Kelly. We have the right to put that animal down legally, and we're going to do it humanely. If it comes to an animal that is adoptable, which is going to be 99% of them, we're going to take those animals and we're going to let those animals go immediately over to you. And you're going to feed them, you're going to vaccinate them, you're going to do everything you can to humanely, and I know she will because of her heart, care for these dogs. And you're going to find good homes for them. You're going to vet them correctly to the right home. But I'm also going to warn you, Kelly, if that dog is not vetted to the right home, if that dog comes back in this animal control 5-day deal, and we feel this dog's a nuisance to our city, we have the right, regardless of your compassion, to put this dog down if we feel it's a detriment to the community. She was slow to agree to that, but she did. We don't plan on doing it. I don't want to tell her, but I'm telling her in front of y'all, we don't plan on doing it. But if it's a habitual thing, the dog's going to go away. Maybe we will drop in Church Point at the park. But anyhow, what we did was we agreed on all that. And now our animal control guy, who was a division, we were divided. You see, he had animal control and she's got the shelter. He likes the way she cares for dogs so much, he helps her. Over and beyond what he's supposed to, but he does, and we're okay with it. The other thing is, with Kelly, with animal, you go there, and Kim, you went there. I wasn't there when you went, but I know you saw something really nice, a very clean facility. It looked well run. Guess what? It's all her. And if you would go there on the weekend, excuse me, you go there on the weekend, she's got so many wonderful volunteers, and everyone's smiling. Who in the hell would smile going clean kennels? But they smiling, they walking the dogs, they bathe the dogs, they clip the dog's hair, their nails, they clean their ears, they get them ready, they get them socially ready for the next people. And then they bring the people in and like a puppy with a new owner, sit down on the ground and they, oh yeah, you're a good fit, that dog loves you. If it's not a good fit, she'll tell him it's not a good fit. You love the dog, but the dog don't love you. So you have to walk and find another. And they're finding people that are the right homes for these dogs. And in the meantime, the other thing is Steph had a good idea. He says, how do we know these dogs? He wanted to know, how do we know these dogs are going to be cared for correctly and not injured or whatever? I think that's what he was trying to get to a little bit ago when he was talking. I'm going to tell you, she picked up a little dog, a little black dog. It was on Facebook, if y'all follow her Facebook. The dog had a broken leg or something. The vet bill was $2,500 to fix a broken hip or leg or something on this animal. $2,500. It's a stray dog. It's not a registered special breed dog. It's a stray dog. This lady's love for animals, her compassion, was on Facebook raising money, and they were giving her money, and she does right by the money, that she doesn't misappropriate anything, to get this dog's leg fixed. And after she struggled to get the money, the vet says it can't be repaired correctly. So she called all the donors back and offered them their money back. And most of them, if not all, says keep it because you're doing the right thing. They're basically throwing food at her. They're giving her food. You know, a lot of people in the community out there, they won't offer the City of Crowley or the City of Rain or the City of whatever anything because they all feel they got money. They're a city. They got all these millions of dollars and they have all this money just disposable. And y'all know, because you're in government, and I know, we don't have all the money they say. We have debt, we have bills, we have needs, we have infrastructure needs that are so very important with limited and no money. And we got to spend those tax dollars wisely. We got to be sure we're getting the biggest bang for the buck and we're doing the first prioritized thing first, not fifth. Animal shelter is a minor problematic, don't twist it, thing in all of our communities. But when you're going to get somebody like Kelly and you're going to agree to this contract, remember this, guys, take your bill, take away the food cost. That goes away. Take away the vet bill. That goes away. Take away the cleaning and the care and everything else. That goes away. Take away the petting zoo that's ongoing because no one has come and picked this stray dog up. Take that away. That's a headache. It goes away. And take away the fact that the media and the animal rights people no longer will ever contact you because in the contract that I have, that y'all have, that Mr. Reagan has approved, I'm assuming, is ironclad everything that would worry you as a councilman or woman or a mayor or a citizen of Crowley or of any city. It goes away. And now you have a little bit of money from a big problem area of your community that you can direct toward other needs, infrastructure, park equipment, or anything else that y'all as a body, governing body, decide needs to be and is best for your community. And you know that somebody like Kelly Briscoe and her following, and she's got a big following, will be there to feed them, care for them, love them, adopt them out, and find them good homes, and in the best interest of you as people that are gonna give her the opportunity. And y'all, like me, better hope that once, if you agree to this, you'd be crazy not to, but if you agree to this, that she's okay with y'all and y'all okay with her for beyond the 3-year contract that I'm sure that you have, right, Mr. Reagan? Is it 3 or it's 1?
I can't find a contract left on this.
Okay, well, I gave y'all, in fact, Mayor Marceau, when this first came out about this animal deal, he had called me because he knew that we had an animal problem. And he says, look, what did y'all do for y'all's? And I said, if you come meet me, we'll talk about it. And he had 1,000 questions, just like Steph had, and I'm sure y'all have in your minds right now. And I brought Kelly in, and we all talked it over. And she answered, and I answered all his questions. You had a lot of the same questions that Steph had. And I think you were comfortable with them after you got them all answered. And I gave him a copy of the contract and everything else. And Kelly, I told Kelly to save her some money. She called her insurance company, and she could also put the City of Crowley under an additional insured, just like Rain. It's a piggyback. So we all run parallel, the same insurance and everything else. So I'm telling y'all, this little lady here is going to do y'all a good job. She's going to make y'all proud. She's going to handle all the complaints, all the problems, because when they come, you say, talk to Kelly Briscoe. We have her under contract, and she's this, and this. And euthanizing the dogs, that will not happen. This lady would rather save a dog. She's trying to save some dogs that really need to be euthanized. And she won't let it go like that. So anyhow, I talk long, I'm long-winded, but I'm telling y'all the truth. And y'all my friends. Most of y'all I know. I've met y'all recently. I've been knowing you a long time, most of y'all. And Steph, like I said, I'm on a board with him. And, Steph's very thorough in everything he does, even at LMA. But I'm going to tell you, I would not mislead y'all. Y'all my neighbors. Rain's your neighbor. We love y'all. Hopefully y'all love us. Y'all come eat. We got good restaurants. And we want to help y'all. And Kelly knows that any of the animals here can come to Rain. And, because some people won't want to travel to look at these dogs to adopt them. So we can go back and forth. And if there's anything we can ever do to help y'all, in fact, we have a DOC program that's awesome. They were talking about some fence repairs and needs. I don't know, Mayor Monso, if you did or if Kelly did. You get the fencing, I'll get Chief Stelly and his guys. We'll set up a time, no cost to y'all. We'll come build your fencing for you around your shelter or any needs you have. Yes, I'm done if y'all through with me.
Okay. First of all, Chuck, thank you for an endorsement about being thorough. He'll tell you I hold up the meetings, I don't have no problem with it. One of the things that I do as Secretary Treasurer of the MAP is I review the contracts. And I'm just going to make a point of a few things right here, just for emphasis. Okay, if you go to on the CEA, which is the Cooperative Endeavor Agreement, I think into it says right here to, let's see, with city ordinance. Everything that starts with city ordinance. Does that mean, so I'm thinking once we change it to a no-kill shelter, it falls in that category. So that would take away any improprieties. The other thing right here that I'm seeing, in order to reduce and attempt to eliminate the use of, well, you know the word, I don't even want to call it the word. That should be a period right there. Or even a comma unless court ordered, because when you use the term to the maximum extent possible, that means that person can take on their responsibility. And if they feel it's a maximum, they can go a little further.
The other thing, to respond to complaints by the citizens, that's our job. I would never put that on Ms. Briscoe, because we don't know what's going on until we hear from our constituents. And if they telling Ms. Briscoe something that we don't know about, well, guess what? We can't do anything about it. It may be a simple thing where to amend the budget to give a little bit more money, or to find another person to veterinary.
Give a little more money for what, Mr. Martin?
Well, it may be that, you know.
She didn't need any money, she's got it covered.
Well, I understand.
All you gotta worry about is the animal control guy, and actually it gives the animal control guy much more opportunity to go out there and actually do his job, picking up animals. The more he picks up, the more she adopts.
Okay.
And it saves a big problem for us. It
Okay.
takes away the kennel cleaning time.
That's not a problem. Just let me finish this right here. Just food for thought for everybody. Okay? And this is something right here, and I'm glad you brought that up. We already have a amended budget, approved budget for animal control. Are we still to hire persons to maintain the animal control?
Yes.
Okay. Okay, well, that answers that.
Enforcement, yes.
Okay,
All they need to do is pick up the,
good.
animals.
All right. And with that being said, from looking at this CEA that we have right here, and once again, I speak for myself, this is a welcome thing in the city of Crowley. Once the media gets, you know, to the point of accusing you of doing something that you had no intentions of doing, it's hard to retract that, even though you show good cause and eliminate the problem. The other situation, Mayor, with all respect, when Mayor Robichaud gave you that contract, I wish we had gotten a copy of it.
Well, I had to make sure, just to make sure that it was good with legal before we could even enter into it.
Yeah, but the problem is, even though it's good
I only
legal,
gave it to him as a guide. They could change it any way they want. It worked for me, that's why.
I understand that. But no matter what happens, whether legal say this or that, it still has to come before this body.
And that's what we're doing this evening, yes, sir.
But we don't have a contract.
It's not a contract, it's an endeavor agreement.
No, you're not listening to what I'm saying. You have to sign a contract, whether, what Chuck gave you or what have you. In other words, all I'm asking is to see everything that's going on.
Yes, sir.
Because when people ask me, I want them, well, did you see the contract? Yes, and then the contract, they had X. As far as reading this, I have no problem with this, and that's just me. I'm looking forward to getting the good news of the shelter, and I'm gonna try my best to go out there and, because I am an animal lover, and I have no problem with calling somebody down. Thank you.
Maybe let Ms. Kelly come up here.
Yeah,
She can speak.
I guess they have a question.
Okay.
Who was first? I don't know.
Thank you, Mayor Robichaud, appreciate you coming over. I just have one question, your animal control gentleman, is he under code enforcement, or is he under your police department?
No, he's his own standalone. I have a director, which was my
Okay.
permit guy,
Okay.
and he is the director. Instead of having to pay that director, I have him as the director. He reports to him, and then the director reports to me, and providing everything. We have so many small to no problems now that we went to her, because you can focus solely on animal control, and you can work longer with a person when you have a bad call. Before, you gotta run and feed and clean and all these things that are like caring for a baby in a crib, because they're alone, they're locked up, and they need water, food, and everything else. But with her doing it, everything is focused on that. And I'm telling you, the savings go way up. You can start scratching line item things out, and she takes care of it. And another thing, y'all as a council, and y'all could promote them giving her money now, because the grocery stores busted bags, they give them food. The vet will probably give you special deals and everything else. People tend to give to charitable, caring organizations like she has, And there's another thing, y'all talked about earlier, I forgot what I'm saying, about adoption fees, okay? We gave up the adoption fee deal, okay? We gave it up. We kept the chip fee because we chip dangerous animals. So we have documentation and the renewal of the chip fee, that's still the City of Rain. The adoption fee, we gave her the opportunity to get an adoption fee. Because she's gonna have a lot of money invested in these dogs until the time they go to their vetted owner. So you wanna give her an opportunity to make some money, and she's gonna get donations, and she's very, we had one, when we signed the agreement, I had a citizen of Rain brought me a check for $3,000 and says, if this deal that you put together goes down, you hand this check to Ms. Briscoe. She wrote it out to her organization, and she said that he said if it doesn't go, his family said if it didn't go down, tear the check up. And I gave her that check. And I'm telling you, she's every bit of everything that she says she's gonna be.
That's great.
I'm just glad it's raining outside, because after that testimonial, we expect you to walk on water when we get out of here. I do have a serious question, though. I didn't see any terms in here about how long this contract is for, one thing, but do you spay and neuter before you get your animals?
Thank y'all very much for having me.
Thank you.
Good luck with everything. I know y'all gonna make the right decision.
Mayor Robichaud, thank you. I didn't know if I was going to introduce Ms. Kelly, because you just gave her a great testimony. Thank you, Mayor Robichaud. Everyone, this is Ms. Kelly Briscoe for Hacia's New Beginning, and we thank you, Ms. Kelly.
Okay, so the question is, do you spay and neuter before you let your pets out after?
No, what we do is if they're not already spayed or neutered, they sign a spay neuter contract, and we schedule the appointment with our veterinarian. So they let us know if that adopter goes to that appointment. If they don't make that spay or neuter appointment, we go get the dog back. Right, they sign a contract. Yes, sir.
Ms. Kelly,
Terms of the contract.
I would have to ask Mr. Reagan just to review it real quick. At the minimum of a year, and being renewable, I will have to check with him on that just to make sure. And Ms. Kelly, again, thank you so much for taking this on. And when I went to meet Mayor Robichaud and yourself, it was just very gratifying news to be able to try to.
We appreciate y'all giving us this opportunity.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. And I want to tell you, the council is behind you. We are going to help promote you, and I think you're going to be great for our city. Yes, sir, Mr. Gordon.
Thank you so much for what you're doing. I'm a big animal lover myself, my entire family and extended family are too. Are you comfortable with this agreement? Okay, that's because
Yes, sir.
that's one.
We
Make
have a
sure
great
you.
partnership with Rain, and contract works well, everything flows well, we get along with everybody.
Right.
Like he said, our animal control officers even go out of their way to help us, even after hours, they will help on their own time. So, it works
But the
very
one
well.
that's for Crowley, you feel comfortable with this
Yes.
one? Okay, I just want to make absolutely
yeah.
sure if there's anything that you have concern about, please speak up now. Wonderful, thank you.
Mr. Bowman?
The only thing I'd like to say is I'd like to encourage this council to completely mirror what is going on in Rain and not even try to tailor one aspect of this, okay? I don't know how you're doing it, but
Yeah, I have a lot of help. It's
You
great
must.
to do. We have
And
a lot of
financial.
volunteers, absolutely. We have a lot of support from the community, a lot.
and thank you, Chuck.
Yes.
Mr. Reggie?
That was gonna be my question. Did the corona stuff mess up you or your staff with the?
It did at first, but kind of after it settled down, we kept getting more people. We have tons of people on weekends that just come in to walk dogs, and the line of cars goes to the end of the road.
Yeah, that was gonna be my second question about your staff, because one seems to be a lot, two seems to be crazy.
We have a lot of them.
Okay.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay, once again, Chuck is good at canceling our debt. The city has a budget for our animal control. And the reason why I say it, when I mention the budget, things happen. The virus that's out there right now, from what I'm understanding, we just got a call from Baton Rouge and Monroe, don't travel, leave it alone, because it done exploded. I thought everything was going down, apparently it got out of hand again. Kim, you know, I recess to you, God bless you for what you do. We already have money in place. And once again, I'm gonna speak for myself. What I'm gonna ask the council to do is that we make sure that appropriation stays in place. If we don't have to use it for food, you might wanna buy some more kettles. You might wanna buy a bigger pool. Might wanna build a bigger fence in the back. So that's the reason why I brought that up. Not to emphasize, well, the city has money, it's not that. Because if we had that much money, I don't think we'd be in this position.
You know, Mr. Martin, I couldn't agree with you more. And Ms. Kelly and I have spoken about that, and she's gonna need some run kennels for those dogs to be able to socialize, so you know what, it's a great idea. And, Ms. Kelly, as we spoke before, we're hoping that we can accommodate you in every way we can. We do appreciate you. Okay. Ms. Kelly, thank you so much again. The city of Crowley appreciates you. And Mayor Robichaud, thank you for coming and endorsing Ms. Kelly. We appreciate your help in this, and that we're glad to work as a partner with Rain. And it's very honored. We're very honored. All right, we have a motion on the floor. We need to vote now, please. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Mr. Bell?
I move to adjourn.
Seconded.
Anybody got anything on real?
Thank you.
All right.
You don't say how long the contract's over?
We don't even know what's, let's go check it.
Ms. Jones?
It's probably. We don't know yet.
We don't have a contract. Yeah, but there's no timeline. Yeah, once you go ahead and